The premier game every year that we'd watch would be the Cleveland Browns and the New York Giants. And you know, was that kind of the game of the year for you, kind of year in and year out?
Playing the Giants?
Yeah.
Well, you might say they weren't they were equal to the top of the teams we played. Like we played San Francisco, we played the Lions. The Lions always gave us a headache. But we always had some good, tough football games.
Yeah.
New York was always right in there fighting us for the top spot in the league. We used to have some tough games.
Sam Huff. Is he a tough guy? He's tougher. Was he sort of?
He didn't get the recognition he got if he wasn't a good one.
Yeah, yeah.
Sam was very good. He was one of the well-recognized players that day.
You lived in Berea, Ohio.
I often wonder that myself.
Yeah. Tell me about your mom and dad.
My mom and dad, they're both from Hungary. They came to this country. Dad worked in a coal mine for a while, then worked in a steel mill. And he had his own business. He had a tavern. And then he had 4 children, 4 boys. I had a brother who was an All-American basketball player at Kentucky.
That's Alex?
Yes, and I had 2 older brothers who played football, basketball, baseball in high school, and they could have done well in their particular day if the war had interfered with their development.
Yeah.
So I came along and I lucked out.
Oh, that's terrific. Now, your dad had he ran what, more or less a restaurant, pool hall type arrangement?
Well, you know, he grew up half a block from the steel mill. We lived upstairs over the restaurant. It was more of a tavern type of thing because men would come in and have a sandwich and have a beer, a shot of beer, you know, after work and go home.
Yeah. Now, is that where you worked there when you were a kid? Did you work with the regular family?
I couldn't work in there because of my age. You know. I was, when I was getting old enough to work there, I was going to college.
Is that right? Where was college?
Ohio State. I went there in 1942. I graduated high school. Finished 2 quarters of my freshman year. We played in 3 freshman football games. We couldn't play varsity football in those days. Mm-hmm. And I might back it up a little bit and say that when we were in high school, I was fortunate enough to be on a state basketball championship team, and I made All-Ohio Center in basketball and All-Ohio tackle in football. We were state football champions also, and we were district champions in baseball. So we had some fine athletic teams when I was in high school, and we sort of set the stage for what was to come.
Yeah.
And I think I'm kind of fortunate and lucky to have had the experience and the development I had when I was a kid.
Yep. Did you now? When did you matriculate into Ohio State?
1942. I graduated high school in 42, and I went to Ohio State. Finished 2 quarters of my freshman year. We couldn't play varsity football in those days. And I played in 3 freshman games, and went in the military. And it was in the invasion of the Philippines and Okinawa was the 96th Division. I was a surgical technician in the 20th Medical Battalion. We took the first medical installation and brought the wounded back too. So I probably saw war at its worst.
Oh yeah.
Because I saw a lot of mangled bodies and had to attend to them with the doctors. We worked right with the doctors there.
So you're sort of like in a MASH unit.
Well, not as fancy.
Where was that unit?
Well, we went to Lake in Okinawa.
Okay.
We were in invasion in both places. I went to HR +2 because we had to get in there to attend to the wounded.
Was the beach secure when you got in there?
Well, let's put it this way: when we left Hawaii to go to Leyte, we were in the task force. It didn't seem like there were very many ships there, and I said, "Gee, it can't be much of an operation." When we pulled into Lingayen Gulf, all you could see were ships.
Yeah.
And they'd been there for some time, softening the beach so they could go in. And of course, when we went in, there were a lot of guys laying on the sand because they were the initial waves of
the Marines went in first.
Well, the Marines, with the Army, we were in the Army, so we were in the Army section, and it was, we probably saw invasions in the shores because we were picking up the wounded.
Yeah.
How did you become a surgical technician? Did you have to get special training for that, Lou?
I don't know. The other thing is, when you're in the military, they gave you an IQ test, and that's the only thing I figured out, that had something with the IQ test.
Yeah.
Surgical technician.
Did your paths cross with any of the generals of note? Did you have a chance to, when you were in Okinawa?
Oh, I didn't meet any of the generals, no. I just knew of them.
How long were you there in Okinawa?
Well, we went in the invasion and we were there after. And actually, we were on the water going from Okinawa back to Mindoro in the Philippines. And they dropped the atomic bomb in the war ended. Well, all while we were en route to leaving the Okinawa going back to.
So you were there a couple months or in Okinawa?
When we were on Okinawa, well, we were there for the whole campaign. You know, we were in HR +2 in both Lake and Okinawa.
Okay.
And, as a matter of fact, when we left, when we arrived in Mindoro in the Philippines, coming back from Okinawa, we had to clean up the island. We had to exhume the bodies of the guys who were there in the invasion. And then we came home.
What was it like coming out?
We didn't get anybody shooting at you anymore, so it was a great feeling to get home and get released from the service.
What was a day like? Like 8 hour plus 1. Did you get any sleep or did you?
Well, when you're en route going to the attack area, they never told you where you were going when you got on that ship. And you didn't know until maybe D-Day less 5. They told you where you were going. And of course, once they told us we were going to the Philippines, everybody got very solemn.
Yeah, nervous.
And of course, you did a lot of praying, and unfortunately, you came out of the thing in good shape. The only thing I had gotten while I was in the service was a case of roundworms.
Okay. Yeah. What was it? Did you get to sleep during the day? Did you
Sleep during the day? You mean
or at night? Did you get to sleep at all, or was
when
it?
you're in combat?
Yeah.
Well, you're in the foxhole over rain, and you didn't get much sleep.
Yeah.
And of course, you got so tired you would fall asleep. You'd be in the foxhole with another guy,
Yeah.
and you'd take turns on and off.
Yeah. What's the first thing you did when you got home?
When I got home, I was so glad to get home and see my folks and everybody. That it was a grand welcome. Of course, I wasn't home very long, and I went back to Ohio State to finish my freshman year. I had signed a pro football contract when I was on Okinawa. They sent me a contract, and see, I had played in 3 freshman games at Ohio State. Paul Brown was the head coach there, and he had gone to the military, and he had signed be the first coach of the Cleveland Browns. And he invited me to be, well, I think Otto Graham and I were the first 2 guys he signed.
Okay.
And when I was discharged from the service, I was discharged in January, and of course I went back to finish my freshman year at Ohio State, and then I graduated in '49. I started playing pro football in '46.
And you were already signed with the Browns.
Yes,
when you graduated.
Yeah, I was getting a stipend while I was in the service.
Okay.
They were paying me so many dollars a year.
So the timing was just right for you. You were at Ohio State, the Browns. This is in the AA All-American Conference, right?
Yes.
And so Paul Brown signs with the Cleveland Browns as the head coach. He knows of you. He knows of your capabilities. And you were a kicker at Ohio State, right?
I only played in 3 freshman games. I didn't play varsity football there. So when my first year, I think it helped me to be a kicker because they like those long distance kicks.
Yeah.
How did Lou the Toe Groza get started in kicking? That wasn't a very popular thing to do at the time.
Well, pro football wasn't a very popular sport in those days either.
Yeah.
Of course, the success we had and the hopes we got of course, football grew up as the Cleveland Browns were growing up. And I think because of the success we had, made more of an attractive attraction to people when they came to see the games.
Yeah. So, what, like back in Berea, would your brothers encourage you to kick? What excited Lou Groza decide to do kicking?
Well, I grew up in Martins Ferry, Ohio.
Right.
I lived in Berea after I got married
Right.
in 1950. Martins Ferry, I had a brother that kicked. My brother Frank kicked for Martins Ferry High School, and he learned from an uncle of ours.
Oh, Peter.
And with that, I used to go down to the practice field before the season started and retrieve his kicks, and he showed me how to kick a spot on the ball. I said, so I started kicking the ball back to him. And he my brother Frank would have been a baseball player, had the war broken out, and he was in it for the duration. And he got married right out of the service. So I came along, and when I was a kid, I used to retrieve his kicks when he was in high school, kicking them back to him. And then when I got into high school, I became the kicker. And I went to Ohio State, and I met a guy named Ernie Godfrey. And Ernie Godfrey was an assistant coach at Ohio State. He was our freshman coach. In those days, freshmen couldn't play varsity football. We were a separate unit. And he used to work with me on my kicking. And that was the first coaching that I had outside of the one that my brother gave me.
Yeah.
When did the nickname Lou the Toe?
Well, that came into Cleveland. They were trying to get something to rhyme with Groza. They used to say Lou the Toza, Groza. And then he contracted it down to Lou the Toe. So it's stuck, and it's one that people recognize, and I had to behave myself.
And you played tackle also.
Yes. See, I went to the Hall of Fame as a tackle. I played 21 years, and 14 of them was a tackle and kicker at the same time. In the last 7, I just kicked.
And you're the only NFL player to be all-pro in 2 positions in one season?
Well, my ring says Hall of Fame tackle.
Okay.
Is that what you're the most proud of? I mean, if you're known as Lou the Toe. Is that, as you reflect back on the history of Lou Groza, you want to be known as a tackle or as a kicker?
Well, in my day, kicking was just part of something that you did, and of course we used this so proficiently that they start hiring guys just to kick, and of course they expanded the size of the squad. When they started in 46, you had 33 men on the team. Now I think they got over 40, so there's room in there for just a kicker.
What was Paul Brown like as a person, as a man?
Well, Paul Brown was a fundamentalist. He was well organized, and the big thing is you didn't want to get him on your back.
Yeah.
Because he could be very caustic. And of course, in so doing, because he didn't want to get him on your back, it made you a better football player.
Yeah.
But he was a great coach, and I think he set the stage for others to emulate him in a particular profession.
Did you mostly know him as a coach, or did you ever know him like as a person, or spend personal time?
Only after I retired, because he never wanted to be in a position where he was so friendly with the player that it would become difficult.
You were with the Browns when Paul Brown was let go. What was your reaction to all that? When you heard the word that they actually let Paul Brown, the legend, go in place of Blanton Collier?
Well, actually, I just tried to stay out of it because it was natural. They were trying to get me to make statements that were complimentary. And of course, my association with Paul was one that all the football I played after I left high school was for him. And if it weren't a good deal for me, I wouldn't have stayed with him at that time. But it was a good deal, and I enjoyed the association relationship. And of course, I had to be careful. I didn't say anything that was going to rattle the cage for Mr. Modell. So I tried to stay out of the conflict as much as I could.
1950 when you kicked that field goal at the end of the game, was that one of your highlights?
Well, it's not a highlight. It was probably a thing we proved that we were able to see. We were in the old All-American Conference for the 4 years previous. It's our first year in the National Football League, and we showed we could play in the pros.
You were predicted to lose that game, weren't you?
Yes, but we won, and it was really a glorious feeling.
Did Paul Brown in the early days in trying to kind of built the team around Otto Graham and guys like you, the offensive line, was that designed to really sort of protect Graham?
Well, no, the thing is, you grow into situations, you do something, you do it well, and you capitalize on it, you expand upon it. And he, in those days, running was a predominant part of pro football, and of course, we had Otto Graham who could throw the football, and we started using it more. And eventually it became about 50% of our executed offense. So with that, because of the success we were enjoying, other teams started doing the same thing and trying to get a quarterback that would be capable of handling their offense. And of course, like anything else, diversification always creates soundness, and we had a diversified attack.
Paul Brown, the man who virtually invented the modern game. Brown was the first to fully utilize coaches in the press box, the first to call every play from the sideline. He set the trend, emphasizing speed in the long pass, and invented the most basic method of protecting the quarterback.
He brought in the modern pass blocking concepts, and that was very significant, because if you look at some of those old systems, they were completing 35% of their passes. Pass blocking schemes were out of whack. They didn't have a clue. Here comes Paul Brown with the cup system. He had everybody turning out, and it was so simple that you wonder why nobody thought of it before, but they just didn't. And so he had Graham throwing out of that cup.
Marion Motley that just passed away? Who just passed away? Was it Motley or Lavelli?
Marion Motley, yes.
What do you mean to your offense?
Well, let's put it this way. We used to call him Motley Trap, and Marion was a big guy. He was probably the biggest guy on the team at the time, and he was the 1-2 fast man. He and Ray Renfro used to run for speed. And I saw about 3 or 4 guys take a shot at Marion once on a long run. He was going for a touchdown. And he was just that kind of guy. He was not only, see, in those days, we had to use fullbacks to do some blocking for pass protection, because you're running a lot of 6-man lines and 5-man lines defensively, and Marion was not only a good runner, but he was also a good blocker. And he was a good one. So very well.
He had the number 76 for a while, didn't he?
That's the way it started. In those days, in the old All-American Conference, I wore a 40 number.
Okay, 46, was that your number?
Yeah,
46?
my number was 46. We had the centers were 20s, guards were 30s, tackles were 40s, ends were 50s.
Okay.
Quarterbacks, I think Otto's number was 16, I think. I can't remember what his number was.
14, I think it was after.
I don't know what
Right,
it was.
14 later
But
on.
Motley was 76.
And then you ended up with 76.
And no, Otto may have been 60.
Yes, he was.
You're affiliated with 76. So when did it automatically change the numbers? The NFL decide to?
Yeah, they were consistent in their numbering system. When we joined the league, we had the old numbering system, the All-American Conference, and then so everybody would be consistent. And actually what it did is help the guys who were the announcers. We saw some such number do something, they would say, so-and-so did this.
Who were some of your favorite teammates?
Well, I would say they probably all were. You know, I didn't try to develop any real tight friendships. And one kind of lasting friendship was with Marion and Dante Lavelli, because they lived in Cleveland. And you'd see him more frequently than some of the guys that moved out of town. Lou Rimkus and I used to buddy around a lot too when he was with us. Of course, he's deceased now. It's trouble, you get older, most of your friends are gone.
Do you get any sense, Lou, you're playing offensive tackle, I mean, full-time. Did the other players, and they also knew you were a kicker, the other players try to kind of step on your toes, make life difficult?
Yeah, they had a guy who was Detroit, I can't think of his name right now. We were in a huddle getting ready for the play, and some guy came and tripped right on my right foot.
Oh,
Stomped on my right foot. You know, I'm in a huddle, didn't see him coming, and his name was Gil Maine. He ran back to the line of scrimmage, just laughing, but nothing serious happened came to that.
For your, were you one of the bigger guys? Just to be interested on the team.
I guess you could say that at that particular area of development, but of course now I'd be one of the little guys.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's when the linemen would break the huddle, they'd all chant, "Nobody touches Graham."
Otto Graham did get touched once in a while, so Paul Brown invented the face mask.
How much did having a face mask on your helmet change the game for you?
Oh, it didn't change it at all, but I didn't wear it originally until one time I was going down under a kickoff, and just as I was making the tackle, the guy cut, and I caught him face on, and I had just that single bar that we used to wear, and that broke and punctured my nose.
Okay.
And it's a good thing it didn't hit me in the eye, see? And it broke my nose. And I continued playing and put on a face mask. They put a face mask on, and of course then they repaired it after the game.
Yeah.
5 numbers that have been retired in Cleveland Brown history. 76, being one of them. You remember the ceremony at all? Was it when they retired your number?
Do I remember? Yes. Yeah. It's anytime you get an honor like that, it's a recognition thing, and it's always hard to express yourself properly for the adulation that goes with it.
Do you know the other ones are, Bruce? Just a quick quiz for you.
Otto Graham was one. Jim Brown, right?
Groza, Ernie Davis, because of his untimely passing, and Don Fleming. Now, Don, I got to be honest with you, Don, he was a defensive back?
Yes. He was electrocuted on the job in the off-season. He was working.
He had number 46. They retired both your numbers, Liz. 46 and 76. He had number 46.
Is that what you had when you were in the AAFC?
46.
46, yeah.
Well, there you go. Both your numbers have been retired then. Don's was 46.
Yeah, that's right. Don Fleming was 46.
Teaching into coaching.
It was just like going back to school when I arrived.
Then you get inducted into the Hall of Fame. When you went up there, you gave a speech.
Yeah, of course.
Do you remember much about it?
Right away, it starts rushing in, what you really want to say and how you want to say it. And of course, it's quite an honor to be recognized this way, and you have a lot of appreciation for getting that kind of recognition.
Who presented you?
Paul Brown.
Paul Brown? Now, is that something you select?
Yes.
Yes.
Somebody said I should have liked to have Modell introduce me. And I said, Paul Brown.
What was your relationships to Modell?
Well, I got along fine with her. I just didn't get any kind of confrontations. I never really did agree with his dismissing of Paul Brown, but I wasn't going to get into that rat race.
Yeah.
I just stayed away from it, not making any comments on it. All the football I played after that high school was for him. So you learn how to live with people's problems they may have in their personalities.
Did folks inundate you with questions when Modell decided to leave Cleveland? Did they want your reaction?
Well, no, they did, but I just stayed away from it because I didn't want to get into that confrontation.
I bet you're glad they're coming back.
Oh yeah.
I'm supposed to ask you this question. Why have they changed the name of the street in Berea from Lover's Lane to Lou Groza Lane? Is there a connection?
And does it have to do
Because I
with
wasn't a
football?
lover, I just was a football player.
That's what your wife said. That's not what you said he would say.
That was Don's question. Remember, but Lou Groza, last of the original Browns retired, offensive tackle, 47 to 59. Back injury, forced layoff in 1960. Was that during the season? Did you get the injury, or was it?
Well, I was in pre-season.
Preseason?
Yeah, we were at training camp at that time.
Yeah.
Where was training camp?
We were in Hiram College at that time.
Okay.
We had various training camps. We had training camp in Bowling Green, and in Hiram College.
What was training camp like as compared to what it is now? What was it like for you guys?
Well, you know, it was a whole new experience. You have to remember, pro football really came into its own from the recognition standpoint after we in Cleveland started having a lot of success. And of course, before Paul Brown came into the league, coaching was sort of a part-time business. Everybody go home in the off season, but of course Paul kept his staff on, and we had a lot of success in doing it. And with that, everybody starts emulating him, and I think it changed the whole complexion of pro football.
Was training camp one of his innovations, Paul Brown's, or is that just something that everybody did?
Well, the training camp wasn't as, how do I say, I would say well organized as it was when Paul came in. He was death on organization and fundamentals.
So did he make sure you came home when you were in bed at a certain time and all that stuff? Yeah.
Well, not after training camp, but in training camp we could never go anywhere.
Yeah.
1950, when we won the championship, was our first year in the National Football League, and we were losing by a score of 28 to 27 because when we were getting ready to kick an extra point, the field was frozen, the wind was blowing, we were down at the scoreboard end of the field, and the wind caught the ball and the holder couldn't grab it. We missed it. We never tried the extra point. And what he did is when he grabbed the ball, he threw a pass and it went through one of our guys' hands in the end zone. Now we're coming down in the closing seconds of the ball game. We're losing 28 to 27. And we got about less than a half minute to play, and I kicked about a 16-yard field goal in which we won the championship that year. It was the first year in the National Football League. And that was probably, it wasn't the longest kick, the most difficult, but it was one that had a lot hanging on it because it proves that we were capable of playing in the National Football League.
Did anything special happen in the huddle before the kick, or do you remember anything about that? Or
No, see, I dropped back from the tackle position to the kicking position. And they put in a substitute tackle in my place. And I didn't have time to think about it. All I did was think of the fundamentals. I broke it down. Every kick I ever tried: stance, approach, contact, and follow through. That's all I was thinking about as I line my toe up in the spot in the middle of the goalpost, and I square my shoulders to the uprights. And I tell the holder I'm ready. The ball would snap. I take the first step as it's his hand. Second step comes down behind the ball. And I watch the spot on the ball, and I kick through it, come down in front, straight line that I
so
draw.
that's what you were trying to focus on.
That's all I thought about. Every kick that I attempted, I did that.
And then there's a picture of you, I remember, being in the locker room that they took after that game with the, I think, the championship trophy, and Paul Brown is there.
Well, there were a lot of pictures taken in.
Yeah.
Well, gee, you only had 608 points, Lou. Incredible.
And you were the leading scorer in the NFL for a long time until, did George Blanda break that record?
Yes, George Bland. He played longer, and
Yeah, he did.
yeah, I played 21. I don't know what George. I think George played 25 years.
Tough for you to go like from 1960. You missed the year because of an injury, and then you come back and you're just a kicker. I mean, was it not being involved in the activity of the game? Did you miss that, or is it you were relieved?
Well, you know, all my athletic career when I was playing football, because when I was in high school, I played 3 sports. The way it happened is in professional football, they started a new league, and that's how, of course, they came with Paul Brown. And it was just a way of life, you know. You're playing tackle and you kick. So we only had 33 guys on the team, and they couldn't carry a guy just to kick. So I was kicking and playing tackle at the same time.
Yeah.
And the way it ended up, I finished my career just kicking.
Was there a time when Lou Groza woke up and said, "I'm done"? You know, he says, "I've had enough of this."
No, I always thought I could still go. Even my last year, I thought I could still play. But, it didn't work out that way.
How did they come to tell you? And how did that happen? Did the coach come and, I don't know the story. Did you finally, when you retired, did coach go up to you and say, "Lou, we're doing something different next year"? Or?
No, well, they asked me if I wanted to go to San Francisco to play, and I told them no.
Ah.
San Francisco wanted me to come out.
Okay.
I told them that. It seems like you can't play here, I'm finished.
Yeah.
Of course, they had Don Cochran who was coming in. He
I
was
see.
a young guy, and I played 21 years, so they figured they were going to run out of steam here pretty soon.
Was that tough to take? Was it tough to come?
Well, every time I played, I always thought I could do the job, otherwise I wouldn't be trying.
Right.
Cleveland lost 6-2. It was in the mud, and I think it was Blanton Collier's last game. Do you remember that game?
I don't remember the games we lost very well.
Good answer. Well, I remember it.
And you know what? We're not interviewing you. When you got selected to be on a Pro Bowl team, was that a real highlight for Lou Groza, or just did you think it was another game?
At that stage of my aging, it was one of the fine recognitions you had because you recognized one to be the better football players in the league. And it was always a nice recognition. Of course, then you're being selected to the Hall of Fame. I can remember the first year I didn't make it when I was eligible. And the reason for it is some guy was a young reporter from some newspaper. They never told me who he was. Said that he didn't just thinking that just a kicker should be able to get in the Hall of Fame. And of course, he didn't realize I'd play tackle.
Yeah.
And that's how I went in the Hall of Fame as a tackle rather than as a kicker. And I don't know, they do have a pure kicker now. Stennerwood is in the Hall of Fame.
Does it bother you at all to see the kickers now? They're all soccer-style kickers. You mean?
No, they only pay if the ball goes to the junior uprights.
Is there any way to get there?
Who were some of the tougher defensive players you played against?
Well, I would say probably the guy the toughest would have been Doug Atkins, who played with the Bears at the time.
Okay. What was tough about him? He was a big man.
Well, if you try to cut him, he'd jump over you. And he was fast enough. He was a hurdler. He was fast and quick. And when he lined up defensively, he never wanted to get too close to you where you could attack him. He wanted to get a little distance from you. And of course, now you had to try to set up on the inside so he doesn't get inside of you.
Yeah.
With that, he would try to run around outside. He was a track guy.
Yeah.
Big Daddy Lipscomb, what's that mean to you?
Well, he's well recognized. He's one of the top football players that plays in the game. Of course, there are a lot of them, and if you start recognizing all of them, it'd be very difficult.
You had a guy on your team who was a defensive end, Len Ford. He was a character.
Yeah, I used to practice against him.
Did you really?
And I think because I practiced against him, it made me better too.
Yeah.
Because he was alone.
Now, was Abe Gibran? He played with you guys also, didn't he?
Abe was a left guard and he played next to me.
Was he as big as you? I mean, you see him now. I guess I get this vision of Abe Gibran. It's huge, but.
Well, I think we were about the same size. I was a little taller than he was. I used to tell him I was better looking than him.
That's the name of Groza Boulevard.
That's right.
Abe is deceased and he was really an outstanding football player.
The rise of the black athlete in modern pro football was originally set in motion back in 1946. The Cleveland Browns featured future Hall of Famers Bill Willis and number 76 Marion Motley. They were the first black athletes to play leading roles in a championship offense, an offense designed by none other than Paul Brown.
Were there blacks in the league when you started with the AAFC?
We were really the first team to have any numbers. We had three. We had Horace Gillum, Bill Willis, and Marion Motley. And
Otto Graham, just as a character, or as a moral character.
moral character?
Yeah, is he a leader?
Otto had been an officer in the military. He was in the Navy, I believe. And I think his record speaks for itself. He was an honorable guy and a great football player.
'46 to 1955, Brown and Graham led Cleveland to 4 All-America Conference titles, and after Cleveland joined the NFL in 1950, 3 World Championships. Graham was perfect to play the leading role in Brown's system. He was the All-American boy, the face on the cereal box. After all, not everybody could play for Paul Brown.
In my opening lecture, I always said to them that if you're a bum, a boozer, a chaser, that kind of person, I'm not interested in you making our team.
This is a real highlight. I'm just so thrilled to have a chance to chat with you. So, thank you. Appreciate it.